Hey guys, some gamer dude here. So as I said, I'd get around to the Evangelion decks. Sorry I haven't gotten around to them yet. It's just that, well, Digimon happened. I think that took a lot of the limelight away from the Ava sets. I don't think I even did one video really looking at anything in the previous season. Anyway, we're going to be doing this as 4 different videos, mostly because taking on 2 decks at once will be very time consuming. I don't think anyone actually wants to watch that. So bear with me, we'll do each one at a time. So each of the decks is focused around a character. You'll see that character and their Evangelion as cards a lot. So that makes cards really hard to distinguish what exactly you're talking about. So let's start with the 1-cost 2 strength Shinji Ikari with a guardian ability that comes to your hand, which is useful. It's got a new ability called Pilot, wherein you can pay the pilot cost, which is in the gold circle in the box, and it becomes an equip card for an Ava. Now, I think this shows a fundamental problem in Evangelion, in that they had to add a little text box to the picture of Avas to designate that they were Avas. There wasn't enough things conveyed on the card to give them that ability organically, which I think shows a flaw in Chrono Clash. But anyway, it's a small thing. I don't think Ava is really going to be that hard to notice across all languages, and it's probably just going to be designated an icon. I really don't know why it wasn't designated an icon in the icon bars. Anyway, when you equip it, it gains the abilities and the strength of the card you're equipping, the pilot. And you can only equip 1 pilot. So in this case, it gains Can't Attack Battlers and Legion, which means that when it's killed, you look at the top card of your deck, well, you discard the top card of your deck. If it's a butler, it comes to your hand. Plus it gains +2 strength on that. Considering it cycles and it refuels your hand, I think if you really need a +2 strength to smash through something, it's fine. There's definitely better pilots in these sets. I've already looked through all of them, but Shinji's fine. There's also some really bad ones in here. So next up we have Shinji and Rei. This is one of the better ones, I think. 2 cost, 2 strength, guardian ability chooses a battler and they can't attack. This is a recurring theme in these sets. A lot of the guardian abilities are inherently defensive, and I love it. I love this more defensive take on Chrono Clash. I think it'll help fix things a bit. Still think blockers are necessary, but I'm not going to let up on that one. We need blockers, and we need them yesterday. But defensive guardian abilities are a step in the right direction. So the pilot cost is 2 for this one, and it gives recovery. So when that battler attacks, it can't be killed while it's attacking, which is very useful. I think this one is also worth the cost. Yes, you're down a card total, but you make a card less what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable. It's less likely to be going to be killed while it's attacking. Yeah, I think there's an Ava in these sets with Sentinel that I think it has double breaker as well. Sorry, +1 guardian attack. This would actually be really useful in that, but I think there's another pilot that's even better for it. The pilot mechanic by itself is probably one of the most interesting things in Chrono Clash because of the multi-use nature of the card and the customization ability it really gives. I think the customization in the Ava set, thanks to Pilot, is probably its best asset. So let's just go on. Next up we have Shinji again. This is what I mean about it's going to get annoying referring to cards. This is a 3-cost 1 strength pilot for 1 fast with guardian ability that comes to your hand. This one I think is kind of, you really need a situation where you have just that one time and you bring something out and you want it to attack immediately. I don't think there's many situations where this is really viable. And it's really shit for just 3 for 1. There's some uses there, but I think there's better cards that are more forward momentum and less dire straits. It's very reminiscent of I guess, sneak attack from the Godzilla set in a way, because you kind of expect it to die, and it's a net -1 total, but it's going to help you get that last push in. I don't really like it, to be honest. I wouldn't use it. Next up, we have our first Ava, the 3 cost 4 strength Evangelion test type Unit 1. As you can see in the top right of the card, it says Ava. This is what I mean about it's kind of like an icon. Maybe it should have been in the boxes, but it shows a flaw in Chrono Clash's card system. Guardian ability of when it's destroyed, it returns to your hand. So if it's not destroyed as a Guardian, it won't get this effect. It has recovery, so it doesn't die when it attacks. And when it comes out, both you and your opponent get an EX card. I think that's perfectly fine, to be honest, because the recovery ability is just so good, and you get more strength to cost. I think this is actually a really good card, and having it with Ava just makes it better. And there's another Ava Unit 1 with really good synergy with this card. They work off each other really well, and red in this deck has a lot of game-winning cards, and I think this is part of it. I really like it. Next up, we have Ava Unit 1 Progressive Knife, 4 cost, 4 strength, and I really don't like this card. As a Guardian, it destroys a Sentinel. When it attacks, it destroys a Sentinel. Yeah, this is just an altered version of Sakura Uchiha from the Naruto sets, the original ones, where she had recovery so she couldn't die. She only killed the Sentinel once. This just keeps killing them. Since it's an Ava, you can give it another 2 strength and recovery. So, wow. It's potentially much, much stronger than Sakura. This is something I really don't like with Chrono Clash, that Sentinel is such a bad ability. For the love of God, I will keep making a point of this. We need blockers, and they keep introducing hate for Sentinel. I think this is bad card design, to be honest. I think it's bad set design, more accurately. You shouldn't really be introducing hate for a mechanic that barely functions. At least in my opinion. But that said, as I said, I've looked through these sets. These sets do make Sentinel a bit more usable. Next up, we have Ava Unit 1 again. 5 cost, 4 strength. It also has recovery. When it fights, you lose 2 time and can stand up one of your battlers to attack again. Now, this is what I mean. It works really well with that one that has recovery as it is. Even that one we just went past, we can give recovery. You can just keep slamming into your opponent. You don't really need to spend more cards anymore, because you can just keep doing it. And because the Ava we just went past can kill all the Sentinels, and the other Ava has recovery itself, it makes things a lot harder for them. And as a Guardian ability, you can tap one of your battlers and give it Sentinel, which again, I really like these really cool defensive measures in this. I think there's some really cool things to be had. This one works really nice if you keep playing beefy things, and there, it's got Sentinel. Next up, we have the 5th Angel. No Guardian ability on this one. 5 cost, 6 strength, double breaker, can't attack battlers, and it's got the new Taunt. So Taunt is basically Sentinel, but for questing. So it's garbage, because questing is garbage. Questing doesn't really work terribly well for the vast majority of people, and I think the reports of it have been working are flukes. I'm going to be honest. If no one else can consistently pull it off, it was a fluke in my opinion. Anyway, when it comes out, you choose a battler and it gains -3 strength. Which, yeah. I'm not a fan. Again, it just screams more Sentinel countering to me. It's not like this card would have a place in Constructed. There's much, much better things to use. But I think I'm just really sore on Sentinel as a whole right now. I think Digimon having blocker really does. I really think that My Hero Academia really needs to introduce blocker and quick smart. So next up we have the first action card for this one, or is it an ability card? I keep forgetting what the spell equivalents are called. Anyway, it's Ritsuko Akagi, 2 cost. You get an EX, you choose a battler and tap it, and then your battlers gain recovery. So you can just go wide pretty early on. Whenever they play anything, just play. Then recover, play her to give everything recovery, and just go hog wild on them. Your battlers can't die, so there's no real risk. And, yeah. And as a guardian ability, you choose a battler and return it to its player's hand. Again, a defensive ability. I like it. Next up, we have Masato Katsuragi. 3 cost. All your battlers stand back up. Simple as that. They can attack again. She actually works really nice in tandem with Ritsuko. Together, they're a 1-2 punch that ends the game, more or less. Especially with that Ava that just kills Sentinels. Just saying, this deck, the red in here, is definitely built for a rush down kill deck. Which, again, given that Chrono Clash can be kind of quick, I'm not sure that's the right decision to make. Just saying, I hope the rest of Ava, in reality, not theory, does balance this deck out of it. Because it does look like it does this, but it's really hard to say in theory versus practice. And as a guardian ability, it returns to your hand. That is good. Next up, we have Shinji in purple. 2 cost, 1 strength. As a guardian, you choose a battler and tap it. Again, defensive ability. It's good. Pilot for 1. Taunt. When it's destroyed, your battlers gain recovery. Again, more of the recovery thing. Now, the one that's interesting thing about this one is I'm not sure if you'd want to use it as a pilot. Because the best way to set it off, and it's still knocking out a guardian, is to just send him by itself. And 2 costs, that's perfectly doable. It's absolutely fine. I actually think this card's better off not being a pilot. As a pilot, I think its only real use is taunt. And again, it's questing. Why would you do that? But as a 2 cost, give everything recovery, it's like Ritsuko on, well, something that has to die and is going to take out a guardian too. That's pretty nifty. Next up, we have Ava Test Type Unit 1 again. 2 cost, 2 strength, last stand +3. When it fights, you discard a card and draw a card, an EX card, I should say. And as a guardian ability, you draw a card. I think last stand needs death triggers to be worth it, or really good enter abilities that give a +1. I think just the +3 for last stand, so it becomes a 2 for 5, isn't really worth it. It's kind of a shit card. The discard for an EX card, considering it's going to die but the turn it does it, and there's better ways to get EX cards in your hand, no thank you. Next up, another Shinji, and this gets confusing because I think this is the second 3 cost one we've got. 2 strength. As a guardian ability, you choose a battler from your discard pile and return it to your hand. But as the pilot ability, it gives +1 guardian destroy, attack, whatever it's called. Anyway, increasing the breakers on a card as an equip, I think that's pretty good. I honestly think if you put this on anything that can get, that naturally has recovery, or the one that, the Ava Unit 1 that destroys Sentinels, and you can give that recovery again, you're smacking up a lot there. I think that Shinji is a very good equip card. It increases forward momentum. I think it's worth the -1 from that hand. And you get to power up whatever's attacking. Next up, we have Ava Test Type Unit 1 again. 3 cost, 5 strength, double breaker. When it comes out, your opponent gets a shield. Now, that seems kind of iffy, but it's a 3 cost, 5 strength, double breaker for 3. It's meant to be a big beefy thing with a drawback. It's a fairly standard design for a lot of card games. It's fine. Very vanilla, to be honest. But I think it suits this game just fine. I would be more than happy to give up your opponent getting an extra guardian to get something with 5 strength and double breaker for 3. Helps manipulate their time a bit. I think that's worth it. You either get a bunch of time because you've screwed with theirs, or you put them in a position where they can only play something very small. It's cool. Ava Unit 1 again. 4 cost, 4 strength. When it fights, you discard a card, choose a battler from your discard pile and add it to your hand, which is really neat to reuse cards that die. And when it's destroyed as a guardian, it returns to your hand. I actually really like the idea of discarding cards to filter through the discard pile. It's a bit of a theme of purple this set because I think pretty much purple is analogous to black. I really do need to look at the color pie for Chrono Clash for a video, to be honest. But I quite like this card. I think it's good to have a continuous filter of the discard pile, especially one that can be customized even further through the pilot mechanic. I like it. Next up, we have the Fifth Angel again. 5 cost, 5 strength, double breaker, taunt. When it's destroyed, you get an EX card, and your opponent discards 2 cards. That is cool. And I think this might actually be our first discard opponent ability. I think that's actually pretty nifty. Taunt actually suits this thing. Because you go out on the quest. I know questing is bad, but because of how Guardians work in this, the chances he's going to die and give you that -2 to your opponent's actually fairly high. Plus he has double breaker on top of that. Plus taunt if you want to go that avenue. They have to kill him before they get to your quest. Although to be quite frank, at that point I just go for your jugular. Really, taunt and sentinel probably should have been the same mechanic. Would have made questing a lot better early on, and it'd make a design like this a lot better. If this was actually a sentinel, this would be a top tier design, to be quite honest. I think it'd be worth having double breaker plus sentinel with a death trigger that strong. It's actually a really good card. I really like it. The Fourth Angel, or I think it's Sariel. 6 cost, 6 strength, double breaker, taunt again. When it's destroyed, you choose a battler with 4 or less strength and kill it. Now, I don't know if the pilots are still considered battlers while in the field. I'm just going to pause the video right now and check that up. Yeah, back. It just says you summon them for its pilot cost. It implies that they are still butlers. So actually you can start killing off your opponent's pilots. Actually, there's a few things that do that, which I think is a pretty interesting balancing mechanic. Means that you don't have to have a specific keyword to deal with them, which pretty interesting design. I'll give them that. While the battler needing the Ava designation shows a flaw, the double up of mechanic controller is a bit interesting. Prefer that to doing with Sentinel. 3 cost ability card called Toji and Kensuke. Choose a battler and tap it. Your battlers gain last stand plus 10, and as guardian it returns to your hand. Alright. I guess it's good for things you want death triggers on, because it'll kill them. It's a use for this. You can go in with that Angel 5, Fifth Angel, sorry. Give it this. It's going to kill both shields. And get that nice death trigger, take away 2 of their cards. That's actually a pretty good use for it. I think it's pretty nifty. And it does fit with the red stuff of being a Zerg Rush type thing, because you're going to smash through all your opponent's guardians at plus 10. Let's be honest. I don't think there's anything that could survive anything. 4 cost ability, action card. I keep forgetting what they're called. Don't run away. You choose a battler and return it to its owner's hand. Choose an opponent and they discard a card. Which field control and hand control in the same card. That's pretty nifty for 4. I'm actually kind of surprised that we haven't seen this in Magic. At least not a black-blue card I know of. I like it. Then as a Guardian ability, you choose a Butler and return it to its owner's hand, which is again good. I think this is actually a pretty good card overall. I think it's worth 4. I like it. It's field control of your choice, and it gets your opponent down a card regardless. It's a lot cheaper than Neji, plus it has a decent Guardian ability. I like it. Next we're up to the extra Butlers, and we did see this one a while ago. The Positron Cannon version of Ava 1. For 4 costs, it has 5 strength, fast, double breaker, and you can tap it to choose a Butler and give it -3 strength. Which is actually fairly interesting. Especially, again, playing around Sentinels. But if they got something big and beefy you can't deal with, you can tap this to weaken it, or deal with a pilot. Yeah, think about that one. You could tap it to deal with a pilot, and then smack into that Ava. Actually, if they've got a pilot, I think chances are getting rid of that pilot would probably get it into kill range. So yeah, I like this card. Next up we have Ava Unit 1 Dummy System. I think that's where Ray's in the capsule. 4 cost, 6 strength, fast, triple break, can't attack battlers, and 2 amounts of Legion. That's actually really good. Yes, it stopped the moment your opponent has a Sentinel, but this deck can deal with Sentinel really easy, and 4 cost is not much to pay. I think this is pretty good. And if it dies regardless, you get 2 cards off it. You can actually end up +1ing from this. This is pretty nifty. Triple breaker at 6/2 with Ava. Wow. Yeah. That's pretty hefty. Mostly because of the customization abilities. You can give it a further breaker, you can give it recovery, you can do lots of really cool things with it. Next up we have Ava Unit 1 Awaken, or what we used to call Berserker. Although that might be from movies. No, it's Berserker. 6 cost, 7 strength, fast, double breaker. Your butlers gain fast. Again, with the game-winning type cards. Just everything as fast can attack the moment it comes out. That's sure as hell going to help you Zerg rush the opponent. I actually wonder if the other amounts of red in the Asuka Quaru decks could make a really, really impactful speedy mono red deck. I don't think anyone's actually tried mono in Chrono Clash yet, because I'm not sure you have to dual color. Just double check. Yeah, it can't have more than 2 colors. So yeah, I actually think a nifty speedy mono red deck is perfectly possible, to be honest. Yeah, I might have to splash another color in to get rid of a few of the goober cards, but this actually helps, and I think 6 cost is worth it. It's a good card. So next up we have Ava Unit 1 AT Field. 7 cost, 8 strength, fast, double breaker. When it comes out, you choose a butler and kill it. Choose a butler and from your discard pile and return to your hand. I'm kind of surprised it's got the AT Field but doesn't have Sentinel. But Sentinel is a green-blue mechanic. So if you haven't noticed, this deck doesn't have Sentinel, but it does have ways to get EX cards, which still makes it a step above Godzilla. So fast double breaker at 8, it kills something and you get, well, not really a +1, you get a cycle out of it, of your choice. That's pretty good. You can reuse enter abilities. There's a lot to like about this one. I don't think it's as game-winny, but it's purple. It's more control card. I like it. Next up we have Ava Unit 1, again, 8 cost, 9 strength, speed attacker, triple breaker. When it comes out, choose a butler from your discard pile and use its enter ability. I don't think this is really that great. 8 strength is kind of hard to pull off. 8 cost. And you really need something decent in your discard pile with a decent enter ability to actually use. Though, if you could get an extra butler with an enter ability you don't want to use because it's weak, and then you can use this one, which is strong, with fast and triple breaker. And yeah, there's some use there, especially now that there's hand discard. But yeah, I think it's a little too hefty to use, but it's got its applications. think this is the last card, and that's our first action card as an extra card, which is Near Third Impact, which is a 5 cost. Destroy all battlers. It's our first board wipe. To be honest, it even having a cost is just kind of funny to me. It just means that you need 5 on the board. It's fine, honestly. If you really need to reset the board that badly, I think this is a fine way to do it. It's perfectly fine. Overall, I think this deck is pretty darn good. It's a little bit on the scary side, to be honest. But I like it. It can do everything you want it to do. I don't think there's any card other than that AV Unit one that kills Sentinels I think is particularly scary. But it's a nice, more down-to-earth Chrono Clash. It is definitely a step above Godzilla. Anyway, tomorrow you're going to see the Ray deck, and then next week we'll talk about Asuka and Quaru. This has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.